Hey, and welcome to the 𝗵𝗍𝗍𝗫 PodBLAST, real talk in bold, bite-sized episodes. I'm 𝗵𝗵𝗴𝗏𝗘, and in each couch-style conversation, we sit down with local thought leaders to unpack the stuff that shapes how we think, lead, and live. No fluff, just relatable insights in under 15 minutes. Because around here, we believe in one thing: we make every interaction count. Welcome to 𝗵𝗍𝗍𝗫 PodBLAST, bite-sized conversations with bold takeaways. Today we're talking thriving in tough times, financial resilience when it matters most. My name is 𝗵𝗵𝗴𝗏𝗘, and we're zooming into one word we all hear but few really understand it fully: resilience. Recession, retrenchment, inflation, debt, divorce, even just overspending on the holidays like December holidays, Easter holidays. Life throws curveballs, and often it's our bank balance that takes the first hit. So how do we stay grounded? Or better yet, how do we grow when the ground keeps shifting? Back with us is Eugene Drotskie, financial strategist and steady voice in the storm. Eugene, welcome back to our PodBLAST.
Thank you very much, Debbie.
Please note to our followers, our listeners, our viewers, the insights shared in this episode are for educational and conversational purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. Let's get straight in with our first segment around what financial resilience really means. We hear, Eugene, to be financially resilient everywhere. But what does that actually mean in real life?
Debbie, it means being prepared for the unforeseen financial challenges of the future. I like to call it making oneself financially unbreakable. We have to plan for things not going according to plan. If I can quote Benjamin Graham from his iconic book, The Intelligent Investor, he said you have to distill it ultimately to 3 words: margin of safety. Morgan Housel adapts it a little bit and calls it room for error in your financial plan. So now, Debbie, you're prepared, but what happens with a financial setback? You need to have the ability to bounce back from a financial setback. So flexibility and adaptability are key. And good financial habits, Debbie, helps us to become more financially resilient, as well as a support system of competent advisors.
And resilience isn't something you're born with, is it? Or is it something that we can build?
Absolutely, Debbie, we can build it. It's very similar to physical fitness in the gym. Step by step, we build the healthy habits. The same goes for good financial habits. It reminds me of the book by James Clear, Atomic Habits, and really he uses 4 aspects of habits: to make it obvious, to make it attractive, to make it easy, and to make it satisfying. We then gain confidence. Success breeds success, and we then develop a track record of financial fitness. Some examples that we mentioned last time, maybe that I can repeat. Firstly, savings for an emergency fund with a margin of safety. Secondly, checking your lifestyle inflation, that it doesn't run away with you. And finally, living within your means, saving and investing consistently.
Eugene, what are the practical habits or decisions that help people stay afloat or even thrive when money is tight? And money has been tight. We felt it from the start of COVID, and it's been a long journey, 5 years down, with a lot of economic changes and political changes that has kept us in tight purses, tight wallets, and careful on what we're spending.
Exactly, Debbie. The SA consumer has been under tremendous pressure probably for the last decade. So the first step, Debbie, is to stay calm and resist panic and fear. Back to Kahneman's System 1 and 2 that we spoke about last time. Create a flexible budget around your income that's realistic and sustainable. Prioritize your needs over your wants and focus on the essentials and rather delay or reduce the non-essentials. Track your spending pattern and see where your money is going. A good idea is to cut recurring costs. Sometimes we have unnecessary subscriptions that we may just want to cancel. Automate savings and investments, even small amounts matter. And then another idea, Debbie, is to look for side income opportunities. It could be freelance, contract work, part-time work, and then obviously always seek financial and other support from colleagues and friends.
I love the side hustles. I must say, I know many friends and family. It's not just a one job anymore. It really is creating the opportunities for side hustles and bringing people along with that. And for me, sometimes that side hustle becomes a plan B, and sometimes elevates from a plan B to a plan A as well. So those are very, very practical steps you've given us. And where do people often sabotage their own resilience?
Debbie, where they're not investing in their own financial literacy, you simply have to read and listen to whatever you can find to educate yourself financially. When they live beyond their means and get involved in a cycle of debt, when they make unplanned purchases that erodes their financial buffer, when they neglect long-term planning and focusing only on the immediate needs, when they don't save for the emergencies, that makes them financially vulnerable. And then sometimes when things get bad, they ignore debt and even creditors calling.
Eugene, that unplanned debt or unplanned purchases sticks out in my mind. So I don't know if you've heard of plus all those other...
Yeah.
So I think they make it really difficult for people to contain and discipline themselves, because you constantly have this basket of goodies that you're putting in there because there's so many interesting things, and it looks cheap because they've discounted it like 5,000%, which actually isn't really, it's the cost of the item. But they really entrap you. And so that resilience is on a whole new level for people who love online purchasing. And I think there are companies out there that do want to take advantage of. So I think we need a whole PodBLAST just on that can go on forever.
Absolutely,
great
Debbie.
Stuff to shop though. So moving on to talking about how do we shift from just coping to actually thriving and improving our financial situation.
Debbie, this is a real exciting part of the message, because using the power of compounding helps us to create real wealth. This helps us to fulfill our aspirations and our dreams. I was thinking about a bucket list, and whether it's overseas travel, or whether it is an overseas holiday, whatever it is, you can tick that off once you've created real wealth. Compounding rewards consistency and time more than large sums, Debbie, and you have to start early and stay disciplined. There's a saying, never interrupt compounding. Morgan Housel has got a wonderful quote on compounding, and it goes as follows: compounding works best when you give it the most precious ingredient, namely time. I think another hint is to celebrate the milestones in your financial journey. Reward yourself as you achieve those milestones. Success breeds success. And maintain a long-term view, because money success is a marathon, not a sprint. But be reasonable. Make your plan flexible and sustainable. Housel says we can't always be rational. That's almost inhumane. But we can be reasonable. So make it practical and flexible.
I love that. That sticks out really, really strong. Eugene, you're right. Thriving is the exciting part. But you also mentioned Morgan Housel a lot in your notes and in your answers and responses. What about him is just so stand-outish that he's entrenched in financial well-being?
Debbie has got the ability to write wonderful anecdotes about finance and personal finance. The first book was called The Psychology of Money. The second one is Same as Ever. But he's bringing out another book in September this year, The Art of Spending. And he's just a brilliant writer, and he's also on the board of the Collaborative Fund. And I never miss a block or a podcast with Morgan Housel.
Fantastic. And I'm hoping that we can link him into our PodBLAST, because you're giving him so much time and energy, and he seems like a really, really smart guy. So So Eugene, it is really about the story we tell ourselves. Thriving starts with belief. Thank you for reminding us that resilience is not a trait. It's something you can practice and something you can get into with practical skills. And to our followers, what is one small act of financial resilience you have embraced? Maybe you've cancelled a subscription or simply said, I'm not purchasing you this month, and put it away. Please share it with us, tag us, or voice note your win. Your story could inspire someone else to become financially resilient. Eugene, what would be your final thought as we close off this PodBLAST?
Thank you, Debbie. I think it's all about creating financial independence. That creates freedom and options in life for us. I would ask our followers to enjoy the personal satisfaction of the financial fitness journey and to celebrate their early successes. Success breeds success.
Love, Eugene. This is 𝗵𝗡𝗍𝗍 PodBLAST, where experience builds strength and every decision counts. Thanks for joining us on 𝗵𝗡𝗍𝗍 PodBLAST, where we believe every experience counts and small insights spark big shifts. Follow us for more episodes, tag us with your takeaways, and let us keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious, stay human.